let's get started. So welcome to meditation, whether you are live with us right now or you are doing this later on when the time works for you. I just want to honor and recognize the fact that you showed up and that you've given a few minutes of quieting your mind, of trying to bring your focus to this present moment, either before the busyness of your day starts or if you're doing this later on at the end of the day, just to kind of ease yourself into rest before you lay your head down. And so I want to remind you, as I try to do often, is that this is a meditation practice. And sometimes we show up and everything works as we think that it should. And everything quiets and gets still. And then sometimes the mind continues to race. But through all of those two situations, we show up and we allow ourselves to get a little more in touch with the present moment. And so if you'll just get comfortable wherever you're seated, it can be on the floor, in a chair, you may still be in the bed. But just allow yourself to sit up nice and tall and let your spine grow long as your eyes close. And very purposely, draw your shoulders down away from your ears so you can feel the length of your neck and the release of some of that tension that gets kind of sticky right around the neck and the shoulders. And just begin to breathe. And one breath at a time. That's all we ask. We don't plan for 10 minutes or 20 minutes or even 2 minutes. We plan for this moment. We breathe in and we breathe out. And then we do it again. And that truly is our entry point to this present moment. It's not a secretive, unattainable kind of thing. It's just about breathing one breath at a time. And so we're on this journey of looking at a different word each time we show up together this month. And when this word came to me as I was planning, I thought, oh, that's a heavy one. And then even this morning as I was trying to plan and think about the words that I wanted to share, I still thought this is a heavy word. And the word today is discernment. And when I began to plan these weeks of these different words, they just came. They came on certain days in a certain order, and I just wrote them down, not knowing what I would say each time until the time got closer. So this idea of discernment, being able to discern what is good for us and what is not, what is right for us and what is not. I talk a lot in my yoga classes about the connection to ajna, the spot right here in the center of your forehead. Sometimes it's called the third eye, it's called your intuition. But for this morning's purpose, I want you to think about it as discernment. We are in this incredibly loud and overwhelming world. And there is a barrage of information and ideas and opinions. And sometimes it's the loudest ones that get our attention the most. But it's also those loud ones that tend to mute our own discernment, our own intuition, our own ajna, if you want the Sanskrit word. And so this morning in this quiet time that we have together, I want us to connect that. And I have a quote from Deepak Chopra that I think connects very nicely to discernment. And he says, every time that you are tempted to react in the same old way, just ask yourself, do I want to be a prisoner of my past, or do I want to be a pioneer of my future? And he talks a lot throughout his time as a meditation leader in our world about we don't forget our past, we don't discount it, but we are also not prisoners of it. And sometimes the loud voice that affects our discernment is not the loud voice of the world. It's the voice reminding us of the failures, of the weaknesses, or telling us that we don't deserve something. But this statement, oh my goodness, just think, do I want to be a prisoner or a pioneer? Do I want to be locked into the things of the old, or do I want to look for the possibilities for this moment and in the moments to come? And so in this time we have together, I encourage you, let's sit with our discernment. Let's sit with our intuition and let's listen to it. And if that nagging voice of the past begins to rise up, just quiet it. And the way that we do that, it's not ignoring it. It's acknowledging that it's there. It's recognizing the patterns of thought that come up and then push them to the side. Because oftentimes if we ignore, we just push it down and then it comes back. So let's confront it and recognize it and know what are those things for each of us that keep surfacing. See them, hear them, and then set them to the side. We don't need them. So the idea of discernment, I choose this morning, in this moment, that rather than being a prisoner of my past, I want to be a pioneer of my future. I want to wake up every day like Thich Nhat Hanh says, and I want to smile and think I've got 24 new hours to do good, to breathe, and to look for possibilities. So let's just sit, and when you breathe in the power of being a pioneer of your future connected to your discernment. And as you breathe out, let go of whatever stuff of the past, whatever thoughts, whatever surfaces. See them, recognize them, set them to the side as you breathe out. And then let's just be right here. You, your discernment, your intuition, your inner voice. Let's take in another inhale together, nice and deep. And a complete exhale. And then as you continue to sit there, I want you to bring your hands together. Just press those two palms together in that Anjali Mudra, that idea of uniting the two sides of you. And what I'd like for you to do, if you feel comfortable, just take your hands, and where your thumbs would normally touch your heart center, just bring them up and allow them to touch your forehead. And let this physical, we call it a mudra in Sanskrit, but let this physical gesture of your hands, where the two sides of you, the right hand and the left hand, are united in harmony. And as you press right there on your forehead to that intuition, that discernment, just tell yourself, I have the power within me to have harmony in my spirit. I have the power within me to discern. I am not a prisoner of my past, but rather I am a pioneer of my future. And then bring the hands back to heart center, pressing those thumbs towards your heart, towards your sternum. And sometimes it's just a gesture that we do at the end of a class or the end of a moment. But think about the power right here, these two palms pressing together, pinky to pinky, thumb to thumb, hand to hand, representing the harmony between the left and the right, the creative and the logical, the dark and the light, all the parts of you united, including the past. Not that we are prisoners, but we recognize that it exists and it has helped to create who we are in this moment. And we take that and we breathe into this moment. believing we are truly pioneers of our future. Namaste.